Hey, what's up, everyone? I've spent the past couple days fully optimizing this build. This is my Chaos Frostblades Raider using Original Sin with Expedition's End and Heat Shiver. I put out a build showcase guide that goes over all of the details of the build. If you're interested in it, that'll hit you with all the information. If you want to know how it works and all that. But I really, really love this build. I don't do this very often because I generally want to be looking towards the future, towards a new build or anything like that. But I really, really love this build. It's been a while since I've played a Raider and really pushed it. Basically, since my Ellie hit Raider, I don't think I've played a Raider all the way and put everything that I could into it. And it feels like an absolute dream. Even this morning, I was moving gems around, testing things, really, really tweaking it to be exactly how I wanted it. And as you'll see in a minute, I have very much optimized this for incredible quality of life, so we can ignore almost every single map mod and almost every single altar, and we just don't care about any of that. So yeah, let's just do a quick little elk and go, show the playstyle and why I love this build so much. So yeah, playstyle is we just whirling blades around, attack. We do want to get our charges up here. Yeah, good thing we got a delirious map here as well. And yeah, it just cuts through all the monsters like butter. And if you saw my Ellie hit Raider video and what I really liked about that, that was my description, right? I think I said it was something. It's like a chainsaw through butter. And there's something about a frenzy charge stacking Raider, especially, that you just go all out in speed. When I have my full elusive, right, you'll see my movement speed hits almost 300%. And yeah, this to me, I said it in my last video, the platonic ideal of what feels good in this game is nothing hindering you and nothing maiming you, nothing slowing you down, and nothing getting in the way. And that's kind of why Delirium's kind of annoying, because there's no way to counter those grabby hands. But yeah, just you're thinking to only go forward and blow up monsters and proliferate those explosions, blow everything up, go really fast. I think it feels pretty good. Yeah, let's actually do the Legion here real quick, just to show that. Yeah, with the Awakened Chain in the Frostblades here, it can just proliferate, and it hits everything. Annoying thing, right, is since it's melee, you're going to have a couple edge cases here that you might miss. But then when all the monsters are up, man, it's just, you just want to go fast, you want to go forward, everything dies, and it just feels good here. We'll go to the boss here real quick. And there you go, Delirious Map Boss, nice and dead. All right, so since the last video, what have I changed? A good amount. Mostly, I wanted to go big or go home, right? And that's the theme of this video here. So let's start off with the uniques. I went and we double corrupted absolutely everything that we could. Luckily, if you saw the build guide, this was only one divine at most, about one divine for a hatred, no reservation, all's uprising. We're using this to have hatred for free. We double corrupted. I think we hit this on the third one. On the second one, we hit +1 curse and also hybrid stats. Because this build has low strength and low intelligence, this is actually best in slot. The hatred aura effect, this is a perfect corruption for this build. I think we hit this on the third corruption. It was absolutely crazy. More strength, more intelligence, and then hatred, since we're doing fizz to cold conversion, is best in slot for us. This was absolutely bonkers. And then we double corrupted a couple Expeditions End. The first one did brick. I'm sure it's somewhere in here. There it is. There's the first one. A nice, beautiful Shaper Expeditions End. But yeah, we hit Socketed Curse Gems, so it's nothing, but we hit +1 level of Socketed Gems, which is obviously very great. Double corrupted those two uniques. That was the big change right there. And then this boy, we have the synthesized enameled buckler, the Tempest Watch. Big shout out to Muffin Time for helping me get this synth shield base. This shield base is actually really, really special for this build because since we're using Heat Shiver, fire damage actually works for us. Damage per power charge, I actually stack my 4 power charges in the build, so that's another 20%. So I'm getting 46% increased damage on the implicit, as well as +1 frenzy charge, of course, is really good. And then the craft on this thing was insane. Actual streamer client craft. I'll show you guys the clip right now real quick. Probably honestly, probably worth just see if we can annul the tier 9. Craft the suffix. If I hit tier 2, what? Okay, so if I hit tier 2, I guess. Yeah, craft Exonant for the block.
Blessings.
Oh. Okay. What? So yeah. So the really cool thing about this craft is we do want to maximize our evasion rating on the prefix there. Obviously would be even better would be double T1s. The reason for that is because we are using this mastery here for 2% increased damage per 75 armor. We actually get 39% increased damage. You know, it would be 40% with 1500 evasion. 39% increased damage from this 1 point because we have so much evasion on our shield. We kind of double dip in terms of defense and offense by, crafting a shield like this. And then you'll notice I have double damage while focused here and while here for 40% double damage while I'm focused, which is obviously huge. And then the really big thing that kind of kicked off the transformation of taking this build, in the build guide, I was really focused on kind of ignoring overall quality of life. And just like, I felt like it felt good enough. And, I'm happy with where it was. I kind of sat down and I was like, what if I just go all out in quality of life? What if I very much value that? And that's what these boots represent. So if you don't know, the Storm Shroud is a new jewel that got added this league. Modifiers to chance to avoid being shocked apply to all elemental ailment. Not only Ignite, Chill, Frozen, Shock, but also Sap, Brittle, and Scorch. So you don't have to worry about that in Simulacrum or from altars, which is pretty awesome. And you can actually get 100% chance to avoid being shocked on only one pair of boots. You do this by crafting your boots with an Essence of Torment, which can give you up to 60% to avoid being shocked. And then, you'll notice I didn't do that on this boots, but you can. For a Searing Exarch implicit, you can get another 50% very easily. So you can get well over 100% chance to avoid being shocked on just your boots alone. And then with the Storm Shroud, you are now immune to all elemental ailments. However, I really like the action speed. I actually originally had this on my boot implicit, but the action speed, it was noticeable. So I went back and I recrafted the action speed back on these boots. And you can just get an Abyss Jewel that has at least 41%, and then with the 59% right here, that's all I need for the chance to avoid being shocked. So I have that on the Searching Eye right here. And then also hand in hand with that is the enchant that I got. Took me 3 labs, but I self-farmed this enchant. You could say self-harmed by forcing myself to run lab. But 80% chance to avoid being stunned if you've killed recently. With the Heart of Oak nodes right there, an additional 36%. So we're well over 100%. So we are immune to stun and immune to all elemental ailments with just this pair of boots, the Storm Shroud Jewel, and then this Abyss Jewel right here. And the cool thing there, we no longer need Soul of the Brine King, right? We don't care about chill or freeze or stun whatsoever. And that allows me to open up whatever your own personal preference is. Like all of these are equally good, whether you want to focus more on single target, mapping, or if damage over time is giving you a problem. All 3 of these are very valid. And then since I don't care about Ignite, then I am using Soul of Garokhan, which is I was using before anyway because of Shock. But, being immune to blind and maim is also really good, which then dovetails into being immune to blind, immune to maim. I bought this Intuitive Leap, and then I can't be hindered as well. Those very obnoxious blue altars like that, I'm really trying to counter like those downsides is the blind, maim, and hinder blue altars. We don't have to worry about those whatsoever anymore, which makes a very, very big difference. And then in combination with that, as I kept going down the road of quality of life, I replaced my previous Balance of Terror. If you remember, it had Despair Wither, which is mandatory for this build, but also had the physical as extra element with Ellie Weakness. I ran out of gem sockets. I tried a lot of playing around this morning. I actually tried to do a weapon swap with Ellie Weakness and Despair. Fun fact, I learned this with the testing. The Balance of Terror effect will go away if you do a weapon swap. GGG thought of this. You can't get around it. You can't do a weapon swap to try to do that. So the original plan was to cast my curses and then go back to my original weapons. It was going to be really annoying, but to min-max, that was kind of the plan. So I decided to go all out, and then I grabbed this Balance of Terror, which it was expensive. It was 16 divines. I am now immune to curses as well if I've cast a spare every 10 seconds. So I just periodically, if I need to while I'm mapping, I cast a spare, but I usually just do it when I'm bossing. But now if I'm in a map and it's a map that has, triple curse on it or something, I can become curse immune very, very easily. So that way I don't care about Soul of Yugal. I don't care about a flash suffix or anything like that. I'm just immune to curses. Yeah, super fast build, can use a headhunter, great damage and clear. And it's immune, like I made it as immune to as much stuff as I could. Stun, corrupted blood, hinder, maim, blind, all elemental ailments and curses. I focus so much on that quality of life that you're not going to run into these like random things that you have to like change something here and there. It just works. You know, between Soul of Lunaris, using Taste of Hate, and then using Progenesis as well, those physical hits are not too bad. I also have Immortal Call on hit as well. All of that gives you pretty good quality of life, and yeah, you shouldn't really run into too many issues. Solid life pool. I did choose an invocation to use here. I chose Ghost Dance because we have a decent amount of energy shield. I would like more, and plenty of evasion, 26,000 evasion with all of my buffs up. So with all of that evasion, you know, that's plenty to activate decent growth shrouds. That can make a difference when you do get hit. Having 84% evasion without running Grace, because we're frenzy charge stacking and we get evasion per frenzy charge. That's where all of that comes from. And then the other big thing that I did rework is you'll notice I have less mana than in the build guide. You know, I moved stuff around. I got back my gem socket from elemental weakness. I snuck in Enlighten as well as Vitality. One of the most annoying things in this game is there is no baseline life regen, right? Unless you have a source of life regen, you know, especially anyone that's played an attack leech-based build, especially if you do something like Volpact, right? Degens in the game, like if there's no monsters that you can hit, if there's invincible monsters, if you're doing a boss or something, just walking over tiny little degens on the ground or anything are horrifically painful because you just have no natural source of life regen in the game. So I was able to sneak in Vitality. You know, my mana did get a little bit tighter there. And then I rerouted some of my other nodes that I had. I actually don't recall which nodes I rerouted, but I rerouted a couple of them to go into Golem's Blood for an additional little bit of life regen. So it's not a lot, but I have 303 life regen right now all the time. And it also works very well with the Progenesis life loss in combination with our leech can go a long way to sustaining our life. So really solid damage, really solid recovery. This is, for me, a unicorn of a build. It feels really, really good to play. Like I said, this is basically approaching my platonic ideal. If you are working on this build and you feel uncomfortable about spell damage, I do recommend going into spell suppression versus what I did here. It is not hard to do, but I would actually reroute through the outside rather than the left side here, and then grabbing Inveterate. You could even just drop a large cluster jewel, grab Inveterate, and get a little bit of spell suppression on your gear. If you just go for spell suppression on your shield and your boots, and you reroute around the outside, grab Inveterate, you can be max spell suppression. Also grab Magebane as well instead of using Ghost Dance. It's 100% achievable on this build. It's not hard. I just chose not to. I felt like it wasn't necessary based on how I want to play this game. So anyway, thanks for watching. I know this is a little bit different than what I usually do, but I just wanted to talk you guys through my process, seeing a build progress. And that's what I really wanted to share a lot this league. So worst case, even if you're not doing this build, maybe you learned something, you know, some of the techniques that I did to get some immunities or just work towards quality life. But anyway, I'm going to go get ready for the stream. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.